The Games Workshop announced the 23 October 2023 the new Battlefields for Christmas 2023 for both the Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k. So now we go to see about before the Age of Sigmar part and then about the one related about Warhammer 40k. Anyway, I leave the link in the description where you can find better the description about the things. So now we can begin. The Games Workshop announced that 23 October 2023 on the Warhammer community. I leave you the link in the description. The new Battleforces about the boxes that are going to be released for this Christmas. And as usual, I suggest you to pay attention about this because are a great way to save a lot of money and start with something that it can be seen as or a improve of your army, existing one, or start a new army. So it's really quite intriguing one. There are 4 armies that are available and are the one related about the Seraphon, the one related about the Osseboripes, the Chaos, and the Subblack Ravens. So true about the death, and I quite like them. Still, we had to understand if they are worth about this, because you had also to understand that the contents are something that can make you change the opinion about if it's really good or not. The first, it's about the Seraphon with the primordial star host, and this it's composed of the units that we can see as the Saurus Warriors 50 euros, the Agadon Lancers 50 euros, the Slan 67.50 euros, the Coxigor 50 euros, and the Hunters of Huanchi 50 euros. And the total is 267.50 euros. So not bad at all as content if you think about. And here you have to understand that it's based on if it's worth or not, because you have also to remember that there is, for example, the Vanguard that is composed of the Saurus, the Croxio, and the Saurus on Carnosaurus that is 110 euros. But here you'd have more the Slan instead of the Saurus on Carnosaurus, and you have also the Agodon Lances and the Uanchis Hunters. So it could be really quite interesting. This it's really a force that can be really quite intriguing. Sincerely, it's a bit strange because I would have thought something more toward or the Kings completely or towards the Saurus completely. Instead, we had the Hunters and the Slan that okay, but still it's a big center for a start of armies for sure. So if this would go to cost about 120 euros, sincerely, it's a really good one. Moreover, if you think that eventually you can save even more money with some discount, but I think that even if it is about 150 euros, it's okay as price. Obviously, I can't say now when I registered this video how much it will be the cost, but I think that it can be really quite intriguing one. Then we can go to see about the next one, that it's about one of my favorite armies that are about the Osseboripes. And here we had to see some things, because the contents are not bad. We had the Mortar Guard 50 euros, the Gothic Harvesters that are 45 euros, and I love such models, even if on the battlefield it's not so useful for the actual rules, but the rules, remember, can change. Had the Cavalos Stealth Riders, the Archcavalos Santos, and 2 units of Margastar Bingers or Archives based on how you build them. But here you had to compare this with the Vanguard of the Osseboripes, because this amount with this box of Christmas, it's 300 euros, because the most part of this box it's of the Marcus and Bingers, because these 2 units it's 110 euros of the total. So if you remove them, it's because you are not interested, it's 190 euros about. So you have really to pay attention about this. And the Vanguard instead is composed of Mortar Guard, the Carlos of Riders, and the Gothic Harvesters that are common with such box. And instead of have the Archcavalos Santos, you had the Soul Reaper, and it's for 110 euros. So it's really worth. It's based on how much it will cost, because for example, if this will cost 120 euros, for sure it will be really quite intriguing. Even if it is about 150, maybe you can really appreciate such one, but it's really worth or not, it's not so sure. So it's based on how you need such pieces. Anyway, they are all great in my opinion, but I love because, for example, the Lich Cavalers, I really like to build, modify, and so on. I bring a lot of videos about my armies of Crematorians, so I perfect understand that are amazing. Still, you have to see if they are really worth or not for you. It's up to you to decide. But pay attention about the final price, because there are some alternative eventually. Then you have about the Warlord of Eternus, that it's about the Chaos. And here I suggest you to see if it's worth or not. The Vanguard, it's not something that you can compare because it's totally different as content, so it's useless. This it's related mainly about the Belacor forces, but can be also associated about Archons, so it's not a problem. So we have Eternus, Blade of the First Priest, that is 50 euros. The Ogroid Teridons, that is 55 euros. The Chaos Knights, that is again 55 euros. The Chaos Warriors, 50 euros. And the Chaos Chosen, 50 euros. So here we have a total of 260 euros. So, okay, it's not bad at all, but I can't understand if it's really worth or not. Surely they are really quite amazing Minotaurs, but if can be really quite useful or not, I leave to the ones that play with such army, because sincerely I can't judge about such force. And then we had the Vanguardian Court for the Sublight Gables. About this, it's really quite intriguing, because you had the Blood Knight, that is 55 euros, Death Rattle Skeletons 50 euros, the Dark Wolves 45 euros, Fellbats 45 euros, that I think always that are too expensive for what they are, and the Vanguardian Lord 55 euros, that can be also used as a Laukavai, and I made also videos about this one. So it's really quite intriguing about this, and the total is 250 euros. So the smallest in amount of price that you could think about, but still there are quite a lot of models. So it can be really quite intriguing about this one. But you have also to compare with the alternative version of the Vanguard, where you have the Ferrator Skeletons, the Blood Knights, and instead have other units, you had the Vargas and the Vampire Lord, that it's 110 euros. So if your idea it's about having the Blood Knights and the Ferrator Skeletons, maybe you should think otherwise, because I don't think that it will cost about 120 euros, this one. If it costs such, it's better this than the Vanguard, because if you apply more of the discounts, you have much better models about. So it's up to you decide, because for example, in my opinion, the Dark Wars are really quite intriguing and useful, but I prepared alternatives for those one, for example my Spider Zombies. And so they are something that you have to evaluate based on what you need, because they can be really quite intriguing one. So about these forces, sincerely I'm thinking that mainly the one that I'm more interested about are the Seraphon one. I'm really quite intrigued about the Austrian Reapers, but it's based on the price. So all of this could be really quite intriguing. The real thing is that if they are going to cost about the same amount or a little more than the Vanguard boxes, I think that it's better to buy these ones, because you have many more models than the Vanguard. Otherwise, if it will cost about 180 euros, for example, if they bypass the 150 euros as amount of limit, it's not so great a discount. So you have to think if it's really worth. You are going to have something that you are searching for and you are interested about. So eventually, say me what you think about, and if there is a box about this Age of Sigmar ones that you are really intrigued about and you are interested to see and buy, because I'm really quite intrigued. And I myself, I'm really quite thinking hard if I have to buy one or more of these boxes about the Age of Sigmar, because there are some that I'm interested. For example, I repeat, the one about the Seraphon, because there are all models that I like, and for sure I'd like to use, because I need new Saurus Warriors. I like to have the Agadon Lancers, because I don't have them. The Coxsuit, the new one, I'd like, and so on. So it's up to decide what is for you that it's intrigued about these boxes. And after having seen the ones about Age of Sigmar, we go to see about an announcement on Warhammer community. I leave you the link in the description, that has been released the 23 October 2023 about the Battle Forces, in this case about Warhammer 40k. And here, as I said before, I suggest you to see attentively about these ones, because they are really a good way to improve your existing armies or start eventually a new army. Even if I can't dispute you, sincerely I prefer the ones related about Age of Sigmar than the one related about Warhammer 40k. But now we go to see about these, that see 6 battle forces available, that are about the League of Wotan, the Orcs, the Asta Militarum, the Space Marines, the Tyrants, and the World Eaters with Corn. So now we go to see in detail about such ones, and we can see the first one being the League of Wotan with the Defenders of the Ancestors, that see the Henry Earth Guard that costs 50 euros, the Henry Champion 32.50 euros, the Hekatos Land Fortress 90 euros, the Grimnir Living Ancestor 35 euros, and the Sagittarius ATV 55 euros, for a total of 257.50 euros. Here I can show you the comparison about the, we can call them battle forces on that are available usually, because simply those start collecting and similar are completely different about Warhammer 40k based compared to these ones. So now we can see that this, sincerely, it's not bad, but I can say for sure that it's worth or not. Surely, if you want to start an army, this could be really quite chunky. Moreover, if it goes to cost less than 150 euros, because you can have the vehicles, the heavy infantry, and so on, and so have a bit of fun. But obviously, it's how you decide. Then we can go to see about the orcs with the Beast Snag Stampede. Here we can find the Killer Rig that is 110 euros, that it's practically the most expensive one of these forces, because the other ones simply are going to improve this piece, that it's the center one, that it's filmed on the squig anyway. So we have the Mozorg Scragbad, that it's 45 euros, the Squigbug Boys, that it's 55 euros, the Painboss Medic that is 32.5 euros, and the Beast Naga Boys that is 45 euros, for a total of 287.50 euros. Sincerely, if you want to start this type of armies, could be really quite intriguing, but it's based on the price, I think. If this, it will be about 150 euros. If you count some discount, could be really quite intriguing to have if you are going to collect these ones. But this, it's quite a particular one as choices of pieces, so it's really up to you. Then we can see about the Cadian Defense Force. Here, sincerely, I haven't appreciated about this, because it's really a repetition of units. Because, okay, it's a good way to add, because there is 2 Cadian Shock Troops, that it's each 40 euros, the Cadian Command Squad that it's 35 euros, and 2 Rogaldon tanks that it's 80 euros, so for a total of 275 euros. Here for sure, this is good if you are needing more about the Rogaldon tanks, because you have to think that it's mainly related about those, because the Cadian forces, okay, the command squad, okay, but the real thing that make worth this one are the Rogaldon tanks. So I think that mainly it will be related about how much costs this set box, because based on that you'll be sure if you are going to save money compared to buy separately or not, or you can buy those ones with other things, saving a bit of money. It's up to that, because it's really quite crude one. I don't like too much about this. And the other one that we see, it's about the Space Marine with the Spearhead Force, and in this case we can find 3 units of Jump Pack Intercessors. I know that you wanted to promote this, and it's doing everything about this, because even in this October 2023 WEDAF, it's promoted a lot about these models with the Jump Packs. Anyway, these are 3 units that this coach 45 euros, so for a total of 135 euros. So the most part of this, it's related about these Jump Pack Intercessors. Had the captain on Jump Packs, obviously as the previous ones about the intercessor armor and so on. So it's 32.50 euros. The unit of Outriders, 50 euros, and the Invader ATV, that is 40 euros. For sure, this it's a perfect base if you want to start some army that could be the Wescars or the Blood Angels eventually, or even other ones that are based on vehicles and fast assault. It for a total of 275 euros. So it costs quite a lot if you think, but you have to understand that if you're not interested about the assault intercessor with jump packs, maybe it's not so great. So you have to understand that you have to pay attention about the contents and for you it's worth or not. Surely, if you think about needed such units, if it will go to cost about 100, 150 euros even, could be really quite intriguing about the choices, because you have the models, and after you have bought this, technically you don't even need any more about the jump packs models eventually. So it can be interesting in that way. Then we have about the Onslaught Swarms, about the Tyrannid. We have here the Norn Emissary that it costs 90 euros, the Winged Hive Tyrannid that costs 50 euros, 2 units of Ormagants that cost each one 40 euros for a total of 80, and a unit of Genesteer that costs 42.50 euros for a total of 262.50 euros. So here I had to say that the one that I like less is the Hormagant, because okay, they are great, but sincerely they cost too much for what they are, in my opinion. So you have to understand that 8 euros only go to the Hormagant. So you have to understand if it's worth or not for you to buy, because if you are going to have the other models and the price it's acceptable, it's good. If you want to expand an army, maybe you have yet the Hormagant, so maybe you are not interested too much. So it's really a quite 50-50 as pleasure about this one. And then we have something that you have to buy only if you are really interested about, because it's the Exalted of the Red Danger, about the War Eaters. And here you have to pay attention, because we have really few models and units, because we have the Angron, the Demon Primarch, that costs 150 euros, the Korn Berserkers, 55 euros, and 2 units of Exalted Abound. So it's again 50 for 2, so you have 100 euros for a total of 285 euros. Paradoxically, this one of these battle forces is the one with the less amount of models, and at the same time with the mass value of all the ones. No, better, the second one, because the orcs technically cost 2 hero and half more. But really, you have really to think if it's a good thing for you or not to have such type of things. Obviously, the most part in this are related about the Angron, because almost half it's based on that model, single one. It's amazing, but you have to need that one. So it's up to you to decide. Anyway, about this of the battle forces, sincerely, I think that the Cadian one, it's the one that or you need the vehicles or it's useless. The Space Marines, if you need the Jump X Intercessor one, okay. Otherwise, maybe I see some other things more interesting part. I think that the T9 one, okay, good, but the Ormagants sincerely are something that they're not so much captivating, in my opinion, for buying. And if you are needing, okay, otherwise, not so much. This, if you're going to collect a World Eater and you start, I think that it's good, because if it is having a good amount, for example, you could buy, if it costs, for example, 150 euros, the equivalent of having, if you add a discount, the Angron by itself and have all the other models for free. So it can be seen like this, or vice versa. You can buy it in the way that you have the other models and you have Angron for free. So nice. The one that I'm most interested about, sincerely, it's the League of Wotan, because those ones would be perfect for start an army. I don't know too much about expanding an army related about the League of Wotan, but sincerely it has good ways, both infantry, both vehicles, so quite nice. It's up to you to decide, obviously, if it's worth for you any of these battle forces, because anyway, it's depend about the price that you will go to release about this, and also you have to apply eventually the discount and make your calculations about. So you have to decide if it's worth or not. It's up to you. But anyway, there could be quite a good addition or start. So from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.